Hello, everyone, and welcome to RobBrod Reviews West Georgia Wrestling show that was on the April 3rd, 2021, out in Villa Rica, Georgia. As trying something new, as I am separating out my show reviews of the shows that I went to from the main report. You can also check out my review of Southern Honor number 26 as a separate video. Heading out to Villa Rica Gold Dust Park on the 4th. I already said that, right? April 3rd. I'm sorry. It all runs together when you get my age. And it was, like I said in my written report that you can view on GWH News and Notes.blogspot.com. Easy for me to say. I call it, instead of a throwback Thursday, it was a throwback Saturday. When I moved up to Georgia in 2007. One of the first shows I started going to was the UIW shows that were held out in the West Georgia area. It's Universal Independent Wrestling, if you want to know the full name on that. And a lot of the people and matches on this particular card for West Georgia Wrestling was very much a throwback to those UIW shows from all those many years ago. Not saying that's a bad thing, and for the most part, it did work. It just is that my opinion, and you can only do that for so long. You need new people and new angles at some point. You got to bring them in slowly, as Wrestling United has found out, but that's neither here nor there. A couple. Matches were good crowd, 140 plus or minus. I don't count babies and infants and 3-year-olds. I don't really count them. If I did, it'd be about 160. So it's what it's worth on that. I'm sorry, I had to clean my glasses. Can't see a damn thing. All right, first match of the night. Talon Oxen versus Jay Lucas. Not familiar with Jay Lucas. Apparently he is a WWA 4 trainee and he's only got a few matches under his belt. But he is in the ring with Talon Oxen. And Talon, was literally all over the place doing everything. He was leading all throughout. It was a 16-minute match. And Talon was doing everything to get the crowd their money's worth on that, and so far he got one of my 3 stars of the match of the night for that. He was really working the old ladies in the crowd, and then some old school stuff, and as far as using the opponent's ring attire. And Lucas had about 6 inches in height, about 50 pounds on Oxen. Fell for the old let's be friends handshake. And so he quickly rebound. Nice looking drive-by kick by Oxen. Oxen is flying around the ring like it's time to drive on I-20 at midnight. That's one of my things on the reports. Nice spine buster by Lucas to give himself some light. A springboard delay Falcon's arrow. He basically used the old Telly Buncher, get him up, springboard him, hold him up for 10, 15 seconds, and then turn him and drop him down into a Falcon's arrow. That was a nice looking move. I like to get that. Almost got him the win. Let's see, pop up RKO. Pop him up, bring him down RKO for near fall for Lucas. The ending saw Oxen tell ref Harmon check on a fan who was making noise, and when Harmon turned around, Oxen blows Lucas and gets him into a package pile driver type maneuver and get the win at 16 minutes 12 seconds. So that was a fun little match. Long, yes, but it was entertaining. I felt anyway throughout. The crowd was reacting to it as well. That's really all that you can really hope for. Second match. Hustler Rick Rogers, that's Rick with a C, no K, versus Lou Taylor. in my notes. I said this falls under new school / nursing home wrestling match. Taylor was fairly, don't know how old he is. Looks to be fairly young, in his 20s. And Rick Rogers is barely older than the old ladies ringside. It was 6 minute, 12 minutes. It's Rick Rogers tried to win it with an Eddie Guerrero special. Slamming the chair down the mat and tossing it to Taylor. Referee AJ Black saw that and called for the bell. Blue Taylor pilled AJ and asked the crowds for, of course, the crowds say that Rick Rogers cheated, and so AJ Black, for the first time in a long, long time, believed the crowd and Taylor and reversed the decision. So Lou Taylor wins that match. Next out is the SoFine Mafia cutting a promo, setting up things for storylines. Apparently, the problems going on with the SoFine Mafia. Back at the last show, the mercenary stopped Mr. Black from whipping his son, referee AJ Black, with a belt at the last show. And then this promo sets up things for later in the night. And then that will play out at the, not the main event, but the semi-main. Third match is Pretty Boy Floyd versus Extreme Heat. That's his name, Extreme Heat. I have no idea his name. I don't know anything about him. There's a squash match that lasted 7 minutes, 21 seconds. That was Floyd, it was all Floyd all the time. And the Heat's temperature barely got above room temperature. Go into intermission and come back with Danny Only versus Shawn Nelson. One of the good, I like this match, is very entertaining in a different way than the first match with Talon Oxen. Is mostly I called it Danny Only's Wile E. Coyote getting frustrated by either the Roadrunner or Bugs Bunny. And, Bugs Bunny did face off with Wile E. Coyote, for those old enough to remember the cartoons. I would think it's more of a Wile E. Coyote versus Bugs Bunny rather than the Roadrunner. It was just, look up. No, not like that. Like this. That stuff like that. So I enjoyed it. It was a fun little match, and that plays further on later in tonight as well. Then we get into the same event, semi-main event, which is Brad Lynch versus Josh Storm. Mercenary and Mr. Black will accompany Brad Lynch. Sandy Robinson's the ref for this match. Storm teases being a member of the SoFine Mafia. He was several years ago, and so he was playing on people's remembrance of that. He almost schoolboys Lynch off of that, and so that gets the match to start. Most of the match was trying to advance the storyline of the split of the SoFine Mafia. Brad Lynch would toss out Josh Storm near the Mercenary. Mercenary did nothing. Lynch would toss Storm out towards Mr. Black. Mr. Black would choke him or hit him or do something. So we got some tension set up. The endings saw that Mercenary wanted to chain that. Brad Lynch wanted to chain that Mercenary had. Mercenary refuses to give it to him. Brad Lynch turns around into a flying storm and gets pinned at 8 minutes 26 seconds. After the match, Mr. Black and Brad Lynch are beating down Storm. Mr. Black orders Mercenary to hit Storm with a chair. Mercenary hits Mr. Black in the head with it instead and busts him open. That's the hard way, and so it chases off. Mercenary chases off Brad Lynch, and And that sets up, so we got a split of the So-Fine Mafia. That's something that hasn't happened in a long, long time, especially between Mercenary and Lynch. And so that will set up shows, storylines going forward at other shows. This leads into the main event. Lamar Phillips, actually, frankly, Valentine will defend the West Georgia Heavyweight Championship for the first time versus Lamar Phillips. Valentine won the title at the previous show. He is the first ever West Georgia wrestling champion. The match, him and Phillips have a lot of blood. They've been facing each other from across several promotions in the West Georgia area. And basically, this was all fighting, and they were going at each other from the beginning. There was almost no wrestling. It was just all fighting. Phillips did slam Frankie's head into the top turnbuckle, and Frankie was on the outside. Phillips inside, slamming him down at that near that open area of the turnbuckle, causing Frankie to bleed. And Phillips is taking advantage of that with a lot of punches. You could see the blood on the knuckles of Phillips. That was a great visual, by the way. Get a photographer, you might have a good photo of that. And so they were fighting all around the ring and outside the ring into the crowds. So I thought about moving there for a second because they came near me. Back in the ring, Frankie's fouled up and taken it to Phillips, but missed a moonsault. This gives Phillips a chance to deliver a massive lariat that turns Frankie inside out, but he plays to the crowd, and so took too long, and Frankie kicked out of that. So they go back out of the ring. Phillips wants to pile drive Frankie on the floor, but Tweety, who accompanied Frankie Valentine to the ring, grabbed Frankie's leg, so Phillips couldn't get him back up. They're still in the ring, out of the ring. They're still locking up, still slinging fists. Referee Harmon gets, knocked down, and basically that ends the match. But the Phillips and Valentine are still fighting. This brings out the locker room to try and separate the two men, and some shenanigans involved through there. One of the shenanigans had Danley only come out in a towel. Sean Nelson sneaks up for 9, rips off the towel, reveals Danny only in his red thong. The old ladies love that. Oh, those old ladies. They give me such inspiration. So one thing I do have to point out, a female fan almost got squashed during one of the separation breaks. She kind of got close to Phillips, wagging her finger. And Frankie didn't see her because there are people there, but he was coming in from the ring post on the ring apron and launched into Phillips, and the fan almost got squashed. Fans, if they're fighting near you, keep the fuck away from them. I'm going to say that because if that lady got squashed, that's not a good thing. So guys, there's the fans, and security's got to keep an eye on that too. I know you're trying to do things, but just keep an eye on those fans. So they finally broke apart. Frankie's on the mic and said this war has only just begun, and he promises to make Phillips bleed. And they're still trying to go each other out, and that basically ends the show. The next show is on May the 8th. That's a Saturday. So it was. That was the end of the show on that. So May 8th is the next show, and we'll see how that plays out with Lamar Phillips and Frankie Valentine and the drama of the So-Fine Mafia. So that's all I have for that review. If you like it, if you want to see me do more, please leave a comment and like the video. Make sure it's shared. That's all I have. Have a good day. TTFN.